And I'm going to say thank you for coming to today's presentation on adding financial literacy to your first year experience course. I really appreciate your time. Today's webinar will be recorded and it will be sent out. You should receive it within the next day by email, along with a link to the resources Dr. Fralick will talk about today. If you have questions, please enter them in the chat window and we'll address them during the session, or you can save them for the end and we will have a question and answer period, whatever your preference there. And today's webinar is brought to you by Human Resources. Human Resources is a worldwide leader in the development and provision of online personal assessments, student success, and education and career development programs. We've also just launched a free resume service. You can learn more at humanresources.com. We're very fortunate to have Dr. Marsha Fralick here today to talk about adding financial literacy to your first year experience or college success class, how it helps students increase life satisfaction and success, and to share an overview of her new curriculum with you. Dr. Marsha Fralick taught college success for 45 years. She's the author of several textbooks on college and career success, including Native American and Hawaiian versions. Her college success program in the San Diego area received many awards from students and faculty and was designated an exemplary program by the California Community Colleges Board of Governors. She was the founder of the Financial Aid Office at Cuyamaca College in 1978 and has always included financial literacy in her college success courses. Before Dr. Fralick gets started, I'd like to go through two quick polls to help us understand what your college or university does for financial literacy. So I will get the first poll started here. And you should see a little window pop up that you can answer. See the results coming in here. Oh, we were tied there for a minute, 50-50. All right. Actually, it looks like we're ending at 50-50. Oh, the no's have it. The no's have it by one person. So, two. All right. So that's great to know. So we're looking at 42% said yes, and 58% said 62%. The no's are starting to gain here. And so we currently have people that, we're looking at somewhere between the third and half that are teaching a financial literacy course. So that's great to know.
Okay, it's great to have everyone today, whether you are teaching this topic or would like to learn more about it. I am going to present some resources and they're free for anyone to use. The resources that I'll mention today are at my website. My website is collegesuccess1.com, and Tamara will mail that out to everyone, I think, tomorrow. And the resources that you can find are the PowerPoint for this presentation, some research on financial literacy and how it impacts life satisfaction and happiness. I posted my favorite introductory video on financial literacy. There's a classroom exercise on financial goals and an overview of the curriculum. So those you will find at my website, College Success One. Click on Training Notes.
Great. And we'll do a quick second poll here. And the question is, does your institution provide students with financial curriculum within their first year? And this time we'll see if everybody can see the results if I do it this way. And watch in the moment with me. So the no's have it. We're at about 50% do not have financial curriculum right now within their first year. So I hope you'll find this an extremely interesting presentation then for you, so that you can see what the benefits are of adding a financial literacy to your programs wherever you can. And thank you for your participation in the polls. And with that, I'd like to officially welcome Marsha to today's call. And over to you, Marsha.
Okay, great. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the rationale why you would want to add financial literacy to your first year experience course. And I'm talking about my own personal experience and also what the research says. So here are the top benefits of financial literacy. These are important: peace of mind, reduced stress, freedom to pursue your goals, enhanced relationships, improved self-esteem, increased student retention. We often don't think about all the factors that are in the idea of increased retention. Let me provide an example. I do have a textbook on Native American college and career success, and I was visiting the Canyon de Chelly in Arizona, and I had a young man who was a Navajo guide us through the park. And he says, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a college professor. I teach a college success course." And he says, "Oh, I tried college before." And I said, "Oh, what happened?" And he says, "Well, I got my financial aid. And the first thing I did is I bought myself a nice stereo system. And then a friend of mine needed some money, so I loaned him some money. And then I found out I didn't have money for books, and I dropped out in the first month." And so if we look at why students drop out, one of the things can be mismanagement of financial aid, difficulties with managing money. And think about your own life growing up and how important this would have been to you as a student to be financially literate. I know in my own life, it was something important. I think I struggled with it in my 20s. In my 30s, I had a neighbor who was a financial planner, and he helped me with these ideas. And then I began working in financial aid as the administrator of the program, and saw firsthand the difficulties students have in managing financial aid and the importance of financial literacy. So one of the research projects that I'd like to discuss briefly is money increases happiness, emotional well-being, and life satisfaction. But here's the caveat: that is to a point. So from the research, it says it rises logarithmically. That is, as an individual's income increases, their well-being increases at a slower and slower rate. And after income surpasses about $75,000 per year, data suggests well-being based on money stops increasing altogether. And this is a study done in 2021, and I live in California where the cost of living is higher than that. So I think it might vary depending on where you live. But the idea is people are happy if they have an income where they can support their family and have a decent lifestyle. And then after that, there are other factors that become more important than money. I found this diagram online, and it's from the Central Bank of Montenegro. And I liked it because it talked about quality of life and overall satisfaction. And that's something that I've been thinking about as I write new editions of my textbook and I present at various conferences. I'm interested in quality of life and how to attain happiness in life. So here are all the factors that contribute to quality of life. So one of those is financial and material living conditions, and then our natural living environment, personal safety, leisure and social activities, education and training, health and healthcare, employment, and economic security. So I think that's a nice, well-rounded definition of quality of life and the factors that contribute to it. So I just finished working on a 10-unit financial literacy, attaining financial security and happiness, and it meets the national standards for personal financial education. I don't think you have to have all of these if it doesn't fit in your curriculum, but I'm going to point out some areas I think are really important. So This new curriculum that I developed is 10 lessons, 1 hour each. It's an interactive online format, and you can choose the topics that you would like. It includes an instructor manual with videos, PowerPoint, interactive exercises, handouts, questions for discussion. So anyone could pick this up even if they haven't taught financial literacy, and they could adopt this easily or adopt the parts that were interesting to them. So the first topic is the introduction and financial goals. I worked my career in community college, and I think students would say that their main reason for attending college was to have a good standard of living, be able to buy a house, be able to support their family. So it's a motivational factor and the beginning of financial literacy to think about, what are my financial goals for the future? And in that, we are helping students to create a vision for the future, financial security, mental health, happiness. And so that's the beginning steps toward financial security. The resources that I have at College Success One, there's a handout, My Financial Goals. You are welcome to download that and use it in your course as a beginning point for talking about financial literacy. It also works well when you're talking about goal setting, and that these goals need to be attainable and students need to think about the steps to reach these goals. The second part of the curriculum is maximizing your income. I think it's important for students to consider income when they plan their career and their education. So right at the beginning of my course, I help students to choose a career based on their personal strengths. I make sure they're aware of career outlook. I give them an assignment in which they identify their personal strengths and tell me about the career outlook and how much money they would make. And they turn this in as an assignment. It's also part of the financial literacy part of the curriculum, looking at what is the value of an education and planning ahead. The third one is paying for your education. So many students are not aware of financial aid, scholarships, and then students now are asking the question, is a college education worth the cost? And I just read an article yesterday in the paper, and economists are saying, yes, even though it's expensive, it's still worth the cost, but for some majors and for other majors, not. I think that you could choose a major based on potential income. You could also choose a major based on personal satisfaction, but knowledge up front, I think, is key to happiness. It was interesting. I took my daughter out to lunch last week, and the waiter was a very personable young man. He asked where I worked, and I mentioned that I had worked at Cuyamaca College, and this restaurant was only 5 miles away from the college. And he says, oh yeah, where's that? And so I talked to him about, well, this is close by. And he says, oh, I don't have the money for college. And so I talked to him about financial aid, and California has a program where you can attend community college for free if you're a full-time student and have a C average or better. And he was amazed. He hadn't considered that option. So I think helping students from the very beginning, maybe even in high school, realize that they can go to college and that they can pay for it. I think one of the keys to financial literacy is learning about budgeting and saving. So one of the things I have students do is monitor their spending, create a basic budget, learn about controlling expenses and saving money. In the curriculum, I have YouTube videos featuring young people who talk about how do you create a budget, why it's important, various ways you could complete a budget. I have a budget form in my textbook. I also have one in the instructor manual for this financial literacy program. Here's something that sometimes we don't think about, how important it is from a young age to think about investing your money. And the key idea here is compound interest. If you save money and you can use compound interest, then you can build wealth over a lifetime. And I think these ideas, the younger you start saving, the better. Even if you're a young person and you don't earn much money, if you just got in the habit of saving for your books next semester or saving for an emergency, and then when you get that first job, to start saving at least 10% of your income so that you can create future wealth. At our college, I've often seen credit card companies that are out in the hallway and they offer students credit cards, and I sort of cringe when I see that, because oftentimes young students will get credit cards, and if they don't have the money, just put it on the credit card, and then pretty soon they're paying only the interest on credit cards. And I just looked at my JCP credit card the other day, and they're charging 35% interest. Of course, I would never leave a balance over a month on that type of credit card, but young students are tempted to fill up their credit cards to the limit and then wind up paying just the interest. Even though students are young, I think that one of the goals, the financial goals that students often have, is they're buying or at least renting their own home, moving away from home. So what are the benefits of owning a home? How do you build equity, saving for the future, and some basic steps in renting your first apartment or buying a home? And again, you can pick and choose the topics. This is one that you could possibly leave out if you don't have 10 hours to spend on this topic, but if you do, I think it would benefit students over their lifetime. When I was doing research for this new curriculum, I found out that many students don't have a bank account. I always wondered why you have check cashing places, and those places take 1% of your check to cash it. So lots of people don't have bank accounts, which surprises me. So why would you need a bank account? And how would you manage your account so that you don't overdraw? And one of the standards for personal financial education is how to write a check. It's surprising how many people don't know about a check writing. I was explaining to my granddaughter the other day about writing a check, and she had no idea because she has Apple Pay on her phone. She has never even seen a check before. Here's another one: risk management and insurance, being careful about identity theft, increasing awareness of scams. Why do people need insurance? What are some common types of insurance, and the basics of car and health insurance? At this age, students probably have their first car insurance policy. And then the last part of this is understanding taxes. Many young students will work at a job and then don't realize that they have to file their taxes, and they may get some money back on their taxes. So a simple tax form using standard deductions, it's fairly easy to do one-page forms as a practice. So the resources again are at College Success One. Click on training notes, and you can find a video overview of the curriculum with the interactive features. You can find the research articles that I mentioned, my favorite introductory video on financial literacy. If you wanted to just add one thing to your course, that video would be a good way to add one thing to your course that would get students thinking in the right direction. Contact information, it's right here, Marsha at marshafralick.com. I also meet with people on Zoom quite frequently, and I enjoy working with faculty. If you're developing your curriculum and you say, well, Marsha, how do you teach about taxes? I could share with you the sample tax form that I use, the sample check form that I use. So I'm willing to share that information. I have a YouTube video that goes over the interactive features of the financial literacy program. It's an online program that has integrated videos, exercises that engage students in learning, journal entries, income calculators, wealth calculators. Everything is built into the program. All students have to do is click on those links. So if you have questions about the financial literacy program, if you have academic questions, you can contact me. If you'd like to take a look at the online program, you can contact humanesources.com financial literacy, and Tamara will provide that link to you. And if you would like a demonstration of the program or to place an order, you can contact Carla Lundman at this address. Again, Tamara will send out these links to you in the next day or so. At this point, I'm open for questions, anything about why you'd want to add the program, how you could add it, resources. I'm open for any kinds of questions that you might have. You can type your question in the chat window. It would be great to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Marsha. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're happy to answer them. And I should add as well that Dr. Fralick's curriculum is available in an online interactive format. And that's what we do at Human Resources. And we're happy to take you through a demo of that, as Dr. Fralick mentioned. Just giving people time today, and I'm wondering, Marsha, if there are some key ideas that you want students to understand about financial literacy.
As I was writing the curriculum and thinking about my own life and working with students, I think there are some key ideas. One is you have to have a budget. If you don't have a budget, then you're going to overspend and get in debt, and then it's hard to get out of a debt. The other idea I think that would help young people build wealth over a lifetime is understanding compound interest. So I have a chart that looks at over 10 years how you can increase the money in a savings account or an investment. So we do talk a little bit about investment, savings accounts, and compound interest, how money grows over time. And there is a link to an investment calculator where you can say, okay, if I invest $100 when I'm 19 years old, how does it grow over time? And I think that gives students a picture of why they would want to start saving and investing their money. The other thing I forgot to mention, one of the lessons is about credit scores. And I have a chart where students look at, let's say you're buying your first car. And if you have a good credit score, what is the interest rate on your car loan? Versus if you have a lot of debt on your credit card, the interest rate on your car loan becomes higher. So you can see in a graphic way how your credit score impacts the interest that you would pay on a loan for a car, for example. And also you can't buy a home if you're in debt. So those are key ideas I think everyone needs to learn. I know that I have learned them over my lifetime, and they've been very helpful to me. And I've seen students learn about those and benefit from those ideas as well. So those are some key takeaways that I would say are very powerful in helping students to be happy with their lives and have life satisfaction.
Great. Thank you for those tips. I don't see any questions at this time, so I'm going to wrap up and say thank you very much for attending today. Thank you for your time. Please, if you can take a few minutes, you should get a survey at the end of this. It helps us to see where we're at and ways to improve. That would be fantastic if you could fill that out, and you will get that recording of today's session as well. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
Yes, thanks for attending today, and have a great day.